States DJ Podcast, David James. Watching the Chicago Bears Minnesota Viking game. And all I have to say is I can't imagine Justin Fields coming back next year. He fumbles the ball way, way too much. Honestly, I don't really see... I see the talent. Don't get me wrong. I see the talent. I see the speed. I see the arm strength. Occasionally we see his accuracy. He's not horribly inaccurate. With the wide receivers he has anyways, his completion rating, his percentage is 60%. Career. Talking all career numbers. Okay. 36 for 27. That's touchdowns to interceptions. Over 34 games. And one thing I want to point out, he's been injured every year. Out of a possible 48 games, he's played 34. Not bad. Injured 14 weeks total. And it's not. I guess it's not really the worst you ever heard of, but you just feel like part of it is he's getting injured because he's doing so much running. Here's another fumble. I'm watching the game, and as I'm watching it, he fumbles it, trying to do some crazy play. There's 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter. You're down by 1 in a bad scoring game, 10-9, and you fumble it. You fumble it. He fumbles too much. Honestly, I think he's really bad. Overall, he's really bad. He's super talented. I shouldn't say talented. I should say athletic. He's super athletic. He is talented. There's no other way to put it. He's athletic. He's talented. I don't want to discredit him, but 2 fumbles tonight. 2 fumbles tonight. It's crazy. Like at this point, I would put Tyson Bagent in. They're not gonna do it. They'll do the right football thing, which is stand behind Fields. They're not gonna switch him. If they switch him out at the end here, it'd be almost bad coaching. All right. Whatever, because the point of this season is to evaluate Justin Fields. So he's going to get the rest of the games. As long as he's healthy, he's going to get the rest of the games, and it's trending downwards for Justin. Overall, it's trending downwards. I know we've seen some good games out of him, and he's looked good occasionally. He'll wow you. But I don't think he could continue it for, let's say, 13 games. Let's even give him an injury. I don't think he can sustain it for 13 games. It's exactly what we've been seeing. Is overall he's exciting. Last week, everyone was clamoring. Oh, what a good game by Justin Fields. He was playing. Hold on. They were playing Detroit last week. They looked really good, right? It was they lost the game 31-26, but at one point they were up by 14. Right? I mean, they had the game locked in. Justin Fields looked great. He threw a very solid throw to DJ Moore. Very solid. But you turn around to the Minnesota Vikings, technically, aren't the Lions a little bit better? Yeah, 8-3. So you could almost beat the Lions, but you're struggling to the Vikings with four interceptions on Joshua Dobbs. So your defense is holding up. This game should be at least. You should be ahead by at least 10. With 4 interceptions, you should be ahead by at least 10. This should be a 20 to 20-10 game right now. I don't understand. Look, Minnesota has a great defense. But when your team gets 4 turnovers and you're about to lose this game, there's 2.5 minutes. You got 4 turnovers, and you would think that the defense failed. That's how bad this game is right now. I mean, it's like, how much better can you be on defense? And Minnesota has a good defense as well. But their turnovers, Minnesota's turnovers, is your quarterback fumbling the ball. Look, all fumbles are bad. All fumbles are bad. Whether it's your running back, your wide receiver, you don't want the quarterback to be the guy responsible for 2 fumbles. I would rather see a running back be responsible for a fumble. I would rather see a tight end, a wide receiver responsible for a fumble. I don't want to see any at all. Fumble's a fumble. It's all bad. But you don't want the guy who gets the ball on every single snap. The player who gets paid the most on the team is always 32 out of 32 teams, he's the number 1 paid guy on the field. Now, Justin Fields is still in his rookie contract, so he's not the number 1 paid guy on the field. But quarterbacks, once they get paid, they become the number 1 paid guy on the field. You can't be paying that guy to lose the football. You can have a wide receiver with a lot of fumbles, and you bench them. You put them down. You don't let them play every single snap. But when you put money into a quarterback, you absolutely cannot have him fumbling it, because you're not going to switch him out. You're not going to switch a paid quarterback out midway through the season without having some sort of quarterback controversy eruption. You know, once you start substituting your quarterback, you know you're in for a bad season. So unfortunately, the right thing to do is to play Justin Fields. No matter what. No matter what, by the end of the season, we're going to have an answer whether or not they're signing Justin Fields. And right now I'm leaning that they're not going to. Because you simply cannot have what will become your number 1 paid position. Whether you're drafting a quarterback next year or you're signing Justin Fields, he becomes the number 1 paid position on your team. 2 fumbles tonight. They'll make 16 in his 3-year career. In 3 years, he has 5,000 yards in 3 years. 5,482 yards in 34 games. Right? He's at 13. He was at 1,800 his first year, 2,200 his second, and he's only at 1,300 this year. He's been injured, which is another problem. It's something that we can't forget. He's been injured all 3 years as well. It's exactly what I get worried about with rushing quarterbacks. He has 1,904 rushing yards. By the end of the season, he might have half of his yards, his total yards, like his receiving yards, or I'm sorry, his throwing yards might be somewhere around, for total, it might be somewhere around like 6,000. His rushing yards might be around 3,000 for a career. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be almost half. 50%. Isn't it crazy? Last year he has 11 touchdowns rushing. 11 touchdowns rushing, 36 touchdowns passing. It's exciting. All the rushing and running around and the fancy cuts and his agility. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. I love it when it happens. I don't root against it. But it's causing him to get injured. It's he fumbles the ball probably once every 3 games. So can we trust him with the ball? You cannot have a rushing quarterback who fumbles the ball. I think of other great. The only really great running quarterback is Lamar Jackson. Although he has this year he has a 68% completion rate. He has a lot of fumbles too. Running quarterbacks have a lot of fumbles. He was getting 9. Lamar Jackson had 9-10 a year. Let me look up someone who's traditionally a passer. We gotta compare, right? Let's look at Joe Burrow. Definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now. On the Cincinnati Bengals, he has a career completion rating of 68%. Complete games 52. Touchdowns to interception ratio. This is career is 97 to 37. 97 touchdowns, 37 interceptions. He's a pocket passer, especially with today's standards. Career over 4 seasons. He has 605 yards. It tells you that he can run when he needs to run. The high 2022 was 257 yards on the season. That was 2022. That's pretty good. 257 yards on the season. But it tells you that he runs when he knows he needs to run. Right? That's what that tells me. Other than that, he had 118 in 2021. This year he has 88. 2020, 142 for Joe Burrow. It truly is just an example of a pocket passer. Oh, and by the way, fumbles, 5. Why is he only throwing 5 fumbles? Because he's not running around. I'm telling you, I'm tired of the flashy running back who runs around and makes things look good. That's what he does. He makes things look good. He makes things look good. He's fun. He's exciting. It's not like it's bad watching him. But I really want the next quarterback the Bears have. I really want people to say he has poise in the pocket. That's what good quarterbacks. That's what we say about good quarterbacks, right? When a quarterback holds on to the ball too long and gets sacked, like Justin Fields, we don't say he has poise. When he stands in the pocket and then gets the throw off and completes the pass and takes the hit, he's got poise in the pocket. That's what they call it, right? Standing in the pocket, waiting for the players to get open. Maybe you get sacked. But if you have the pocket's presence to get that ball off super quickly, you're not going to get sacked all that often. Let's see. In the Joe Burrow, 24 sacks. Even 2021, he had 51. They improved their line. 2022, it went down to 41. Now we're at 24 through 12 weeks. He gets sacked a lot. But it's improving. Why? Because now the team can build through the draft. Instead of looking for a quarterback, they're looking for people to build around the quarterback. So each year, watch that sack count go down. Why? Because they're going to be drafting offensive linemen until they get it right. That's what the Bengals are going to do this year. I guarantee you they're going to continue to improve that offensive line. Maybe draft a wide receiver. Right? Something like that. I would love to be in the Bengals position. A solid potter quarterback, Joe Burrow, He's been injured a couple of times. I understand that as well. But if you keep improving that O-line, you have yourself a quarterback winning, a Super Bowl winning type of quarterback. Right? These flashy ones, your one example is Lamar Jackson. Michael Vick was not a Super Bowl guy. McNabb, Marcus Mariota. I mean, these guys, RG3. These got Mitchell Trubisky for the Bears, Justin Fields for the Bears. The guys where you go, yeah, they're really athletic. They can run really fast. I'm tired of it. I want to just see. I want to see the next Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, even. You just look across the league. Patrick Mahomes is probably the best at being a pocket passer who runs to get open and complete passes. He's probably the best at that. That's what makes him the best. He's not I've seen him run. He doesn't run anymore to totally get the touchdown. He's a very smart runner. I've seen him slide a lot. I see him run out of bounds a lot. Sure, he gets his yards, and I've seen that too. But he's very run to get open. Jalen Hurts is kind of like that. Run to get open. Russell Wilson this year, he's running around a little bit to get open so he can throw the ball. Right? It's fine if that Tyson Bagent, great footwork, had that same mentality. And really, who did better this year? Tyson Bagent, Justin Fields? I don't know. Honestly, does Fields? Are the Bears 3-9 at this point with Tyson Bagent? Yeah. I mean, who says they can't win this game? You know what I mean? So honestly, and I've said it before, and I'm strongly leaning this way. Next year, I want to see Eberflus gone. I want to see Fields traded, and I want to see a quarterback drafted. There's a couple of quarterbacks on the draft board. The Bears have a high draft pick with Carolina's draft pick. They might have two high draft picks this year because they're not a very good team. You can trade Fields. He might be good on a different team with a different coaching staff. I can see a team that is really desperate for a quarterback. Maybe the Browns, but are they still tied with Deshaun Watson? Right? If they're still tied with him, it won't be the Browns. Atlanta, the Saints are looking for a quarterback. In my mind, like they haven't quite solved the problem. Will the Steelers, the Jets? Could you bet that's well? No, they got Brett Favre. I forgot. I'm sorry. Will Brett Favre be back, or is he? He will. He's going to start next year, right? Yeah. So never mind. Not the Jets. How about the Giants? Like who's looking for a decently talented? The Bucs. Who's looking for a decently talented quarterback? He at least gets put on a team where he fights for the starting position, right? That's what I see. The best case scenario, though, he's off the team, and new head coach, new quarterback. You draft a wide receiver, you draft a quarterback, and you draft O-linemen. Like, that's the formula. We have good running backs. We have this Roshan Johnson, Khalil Herbert, two really good running backs on this team. Is Johnson a halfback, maybe? I'm not 100% certain. But, we've seen him get a lot of good carries. The Bears have a great running game, even without Justin Fields. They have a great running game. The O-line is not that bad. It needs improvement, but it's not that bad. The defense, I'm seeing some promise in this defense. That's one thing we saw tonight. 4 interceptions or 5. It was crazy. They held the Minnesota to 10 points or 12 to 10 points. We've seen some good defense. That I think it was the Rams game or the Chargers game where every single second half snap started in the Chargers side of the field, and the Bears held them. The defense held them. It was the Tyson Bagent game where he had 4 chances to just get down and kick a field goal. But hey, the defense, I kind of like it. It's you hire a really good defensive coordinator. Like, seriously, spend the money, find the right guy, right? You hire a really good offensive head coach. Like, let's bring in somebody who's the best one there. I want to see the most money put into coaching. You draft really well, you get yourself some solid coaching, and you have yourself a winning football team. Right? DJ Moore is a good wide receiver. Let's get him a quarterback. Unfortunately, we're shaping the team around wide receivers. Darnell Mooney, I think, is better than he plays. He's being affected by bad quarterback. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Scott had some, I believe Tyler Scott, something like that, had some good connections with Bagent. Cole Kmet is showing up huge. I really feel like Cole Kmet is a solid top tight end. He's a top 10 tight end in my mind. Traditional tight ends. Not like the most catching yards and receiving yards in the league, but he's got solid hands. He catches it, he breaks a lot of tackles. He's really good at blocking. He's a big solid player. He's a very traditional tight end, a blocking tight end with good hands. I want to see him re-signed or signed extended for a few years. I think we can see something with Cole Kmet. You can build. You need a quarterback to solidify this. Another thing about drafting a new quarterback and trading Fields, I'm agreeing now with the statement of it resets the clock on who you have to pay. Right? It puts somebody new on a new rookie deal, the 5-year rookie deal. A new head coach. Like, really, really do your due diligence. Put Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles at it. Right? Kevin Warren was signed or hired after Ryan Poles. It was kind of a weird way to do it. But Kevin Warren, he's one of those guys that has a great reputation. He's really good at putting and fixing problems on teams. He has that solid reputation. Everyone talks and says fantastic things about him, and it's not like kiss ass like oh yeah, we just hired this new guy. Every year, every time you hire a new head coach, it's like, yeah, he's you name all his accomplishments, this, that, and this. No, Kevin Warren's the real deal. He has a proven track record of finding greatness. I think if you put him and Ryan Poles and I'm one of the people who thinks that Matt Eberflus was intentionally picked because he would be bad. Like kind of like sabotage Fields. Like, give a reason to not bring him back, to not bring Fields back. Like, I don't think Eberflus and I don't think Poles liked Fields from the start, to tell you the truth. He saw the talent, so he put him in a tough situation where if he succeeds, then you keep him. And you did give him the wide receivers, so it's not like you didn't support him at all. But it's almost like how can we tank this year and see if Fields is good? It's like hire Matt Eberflus. Like, we want 2 first round draft picks, right? Well, it's almost like intentional. I think it's intentional tanking, where you have Matt Eberflus as your head coach, and see if Justin Fields can overcome a bad coach, and then you can tank. Go something like 4 wins, 5 wins, something like that, and get a really high draft pick. You know, by all means, Minnesota should have won this game, other than the fact that they threw 5 interceptions, right? Because the Bears didn't play very good at all. The fact that it was a 12-9, 12-10 finish here is pathetic. And you never want to see that. It's almost seemed like that was the plan, to have a bad coach, tank, have 2 really high first round draft picks, a lot of draft capital, and turn this thing over, flip of a coin in 1 year, bam, you're a playoff team. While you're also trying to secure a new location out in Arlington Heights and build a new stadium. Like you want to have, going into this new stadium, a really good team, and one of the ways to do that is to have some tank years where you build draft picks, right? And I'm not a huge fan of tanking. I don't like it, but when you set it up perfectly, hey, I'll take a winning season. If you set up the tank perfectly, it's not that bad. And I think it works the best in the NFL. I feel like tanking works the best in the NFL because you're able to get a high draft pick that you can turn into multiple draft picks, and it's kind of what the Bears' Ryan Poles has done. Is this first year he turned 7 draft picks into 11. So it's kind of like, just find a way to give Ryan Poles as many draft picks as possible, and let's turn this team around. And having 2 number 1 picks, I think that's why they traded that second round pick for Montez Sweat, because I think he's going to break that one of these first round draft picks, either the Carolina one. No, the Carolina one they're gonna draft quarterback. This is my fantasy Bears hope. Okay, so they're gonna draft a quarterback. To me, it doesn't matter which one. Let's just get one of these high-ranked guys. There's a couple on the list: Caleb Williams and a few others. Let's draft a quarterback, and then you get a second round pick for Justin Fields. He's worth at least a second round pick, right? And then you have another first round pick that you could do like 2. Isn't a first round pick at least worth 2 second round picks, right? And you build your wide receiver core, and you build your offensive line in the second round. You build that. You get wide receivers and O-lines and defensive linemen, and you just put the best lines out in the NFL. That's how you build. Honestly, the Bears, we've been talking about the Eagles we've been talking about the Eagles being a good Bears comparison because of Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. But I could see the Bears being the next Bengals. If you do that, you build the lineup. You build the wide receiver core up. You draft a really good pocket quarterback. A Joe Burrow type quarterback. To me, that sounds exciting. Anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for this show. DJ Podcast. David James here signing out. Bear down, guys. Hopefully,